If you've used a plastic palette long enough, you've probably run into staining. My friend Jane at Ginkgo Arts suggested that I try olive oil, so I'm going to try that today in this video. Now, I should mention that staining isn't something that bothers me all that much. I've been using plastic palettes since I started watercoloring, and all of them have stained to some degree or another. And the most I've ever done is put water on the palette and wipe it away with a paper towel because I just figure that I'm going to be putting paint on it again anyway. So I think this is going to be a really good experiment, and I'll take you along and you can watch how well it works. So I basically just grabbed the olive oil from the kitchen and a clean paper towel. Other than cleaning off the excess paint from the palette with water, I didn't do anything else here. There are a few spots you can see that make a ring around the two mixing wells in the middle of my palette. Those spots have been there for as long as I can remember. I adopted this palette from a friend and it's always really had those stains and I could never get them off. And as I mentioned before, I haven't quite tried to fix the palette in the sense of I haven't tried cleaning it with any abrasive solutions or chemicals or yeah, scrubbing it. And I just left it as is. So actually wasn't thinking that the olive oil was going to take it off. It wasn't working on the lid. You can see there are some stains on the lid that it didn't take off. But then when I got to the spots, it actually started working. So I added more olive oil and I just kept going at it. And I am putting a little bit of pressure with the paper towel, but it's not really extreme. And it was removing the spots, which I thought made this method really effective. Now, I do have to say that I haven't used other methods to clean my palette, and I did a quick YouTube search, and there are two other ways that look quite effective, and I will link them for you in this video. But one of them is using a plastic eraser and basically erasing the stains off, literally, and the other one is using a magic eraser, which is essentially a melamine foam sponge. Now, I think both of those methods, they look like they work really well, but the eraser will cause your palette to possibly start beading. Not that that can't be fixed. And the melamine sponge, the magic eraser sponge, that looks like it's abrasive. So it actually can scratch the surface of the palette and wear down any gloss or sheen, which actually might be something you want if your palette is new and it's beading a lot. So those two methods, they look like they work really well, and I just wanted to mention them here. And they could be quite as effective or more effective than this method. But what I like about this method is that it's gentle, it's non-abrasive, it's non-toxic, and it's readily available. The only thing that you're going to have to do is clean off the oil after you're done cleaning the stains. And that can be done with a little bit of dish soap and water, or maybe a swipe of alcohol might work, whatever it is to get that oil residue off, because you definitely don't want oil getting mixed with your water and your paint for your watercolor paintings. So all in all, I think this is a great option for removing staining from plastic watercolor palettes, especially if you're looking for something that's non-toxic and very gentle. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments if it works for you. And if you have another method that you'd like to share with everybody, then leave those in the comments as well. I'm sure it will help a lot of other people.